The deep sea is still hiding animals nobody has named. Not because they are small, not because they are rare, because almost all of the place they live has never been properly seen. Humans have visually observed less than 0.001% of the deep sea floor. That leaves an entire world beneath the cameras, and some of its residents have never met a human eye. The first mistake is to picture the deep sea as one place. It is not. It is a continent of darkness. A mountain range can disappear into it. A canyon can open beneath it. A plain can stretch for thousands of kilometers with no coastline, no road, and no sky. More than 90% of the ocean is deeper than 200 meters. Below that line, daylight starts to fail. Below 1,000 meters, it is gone. The water does not become empty when the light disappears. It becomes selective. Only certain bodies can function there. Transparent animals drift without being seen. Black fish absorb almost every trace of light. Jellyfish become bells with no visible purpose until they begin to glow. Corals grow where no sunlight reaches them. Sponges form gardens on ridges that were unknown until a ship passed above them with the right equipment. Many deep-sea animals are not waiting to be discovered. They are simply continuing their lives without us. A remotely operated vehicle may descend for 8 hours. It may travel a few kilometers. It may record an animal that has never appeared in a scientific paper. Then the vehicle returns to the surface. The animal remains below. No name, no specimen, no certainty that it will ever be seen again. That is the first problem. In the deep sea, discovery is often not the same as understanding. Sometimes it is only a brief encounter with something moving away from the light. Scientists can map the seafloor without seeing the animals that live on it. A map may show a ridge, a trench, a volcanic cone, a field of old lava, but it cannot tell you whether the rock is covered in coral, worms,
glass sponges, sea stars, or something that does not yet exist in a catalogue. Modern mapping has improved quickly. By 2026, more than a quarter of the global seafloor had been mapped to modern standards. That sounds impressive. It is, but it also means most of the seafloor is still missing from the detailed picture, and even if that map would not reveal the life within the body. The deep sea is not only ground, it is volume. With its spectral layers.
Some unnamed animals have already been filmed. They are often given temporary labels, a number, a code, a description based on where they were found. Pink blob, unknown jelly, possible new species. That is not a joke. It is the beginning of taxonomy. The animal must be compared with everything already known. Its body must be examined. Its DNA may need to be sequenced. Scientists may need another specimen from another place. They may need to confirm that it is not a young form of something already named. This can take years. A creature is not officially new because it looks strange. The deep sea is full of strange things that change shape as they grow. Some animals look completely different as juveniles. Some lose structures as adults. Some only show their natural colours while alive. Others collapse when brought to the surface because their bodies were built for pressure. A gelatinous animal may arrive in a net as a shapeless mass. A delicate fish may not survive the ascent. A jelly may tear before anyone can photograph it. The deep sea does not preserve itself for us. It resists being removed. This is why a name can be delayed. Not because scientists are ignoring the animal, because the animal is difficult to hold on to. The mystery mollusk is one example. Its common name sounds casual. Its real identity took far longer. MBARI researchers eventually named it Bathydevius caudactylus. It is a deep water sea slug that swims through the midnight zone instead of crawling on the seafloor like most of its relatives. It has a large hood for catching prey. It can glow. It lives between roughly 1,000 and 4,000 meters down. For years, animals like this can appear on camera as a question mark. Then slowly, they become real enough to name, but the question mark does not disappear. It moves somewhere else. The deep sea also hides creatures because it hides evidence. On land, an animal leaves tracks, it breaks branches, it calls, it builds nests. In the deep ocean, most signs vanish. A current carries scent away. A carcass is eaten quickly. A footprint may be erased by a falling layer of sediment. The water itself is moving, and some animals never touch the bottom at all. They drift in open water where there is nothing to mark their presence. A fish can live in a space larger than a country and leave no visible trace behind it. A squid can pass beneath a research vessel by a few hundred meters and remain unseen. A jellyfish can float through the beam of a submersible light, vanish behind it, and never be recorded again. The equipment has limits. Cameras only see where they are pointed. Sonar only detects certain shapes. Nets select for animals strong enough to survive capture. DNA samples taken from seawater can reveal that something is present. But the DNA may not tell us what the animal looks like. It may not tell us how large it is. It may not tell us whether it hunts, glows, hides, or waits. The sea can offer a genetic fingerprint without a face. That is a quiet kind of horror. A sample comes back from the water. It contains a sequence nobody can match. Something living passed through that place. Something left a trace, then disappeared. The deepest problem is pressure. At 1,000 meters, the pressure is roughly 100 times greater than at the surface. At 4,000 meters, it is closer to 400 atmospheres. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, it rises beyond 1,000 atmospheres. Machines can go there, but machines are expensive. They need ships, crews, fuel, weather windows, engineers, launch systems, recovery systems, and time. A dive can take years to plan.
It can be cancelled by a storm. It can end early because of a cable fault. It can rely on nothing but mud. Then, just before the vehicle turns back, a camera may find something that cannot be identified. A whale animal on a rock. A black fish,
There is another reason new animals keep appearing. The deep sea is not one ecosystem. A hydrothermal vent is not an abyssal plain. A cold seep is not a seamount. A whale fall is not a canyon wall. Each one creates its own rules. At hydrothermal vents, hot, mineral-rich water pours from the seafloor. Tube worms, crabs, mussels, and bacteria build communities around it. At cold seeps, methane and other chemicals leak from below the seabed. Life gathers there too. A dead whale on the seafloor becomes a temporary island. First, scavengers arrive, then worms, then bacteria feeding on the bones. Different depths create different temperatures. Different currents bring different food. Different ridges separate populations that may never meet. Over time, those isolated populations can become different species. This means that every unexplored seamount may hold a variation of something already known, or something entirely separate. A creature can look familiar from a distance. Then a sample reveals it belongs to a different branch of life. The deep sea does not need giant monsters to remain unknown, it only needs distance. A few hundred kilometers between two ridges may be enough. A current may isolate larvae. A canyon may divide habitats. A species may exist in one small patch of seafloor and nowhere else on Earth. Until a vehicle finds it, that species is invisible to science. And when it is found, the real work begins.
The deep sea still hides unnamed creatures because we have barely begun to look at it properly. We have maps without animals, videos without specimens, DNA without bodies, animals without names. The unknown is not the failure of human curiosity. It is the scale of growth